We got your ticket ready. Friday Night Football, cool night in the nation's capital. Break out the plaid, and the stakes are high for the Ottawa REDBLACKS and Hamilton Tiger Cats. First of a home-and-home series that should decide who gets first in the Eastern Final.
The Magic Man, Jeremiah Masoli, second leading pass in the CFL, second only to Mike Riley. Second leading rushing quarterback in the CFL, second only Mike Riley. He can run it, he can sling it, and he puts pressure on the defense with those legs big time.
His coach left halfway through the last year. A couple of his receivers got hurt, and now Brandon Banks is getting all the cookies. 1,300 yards almost already.
This game gives Trevor Harris a great chance to show the world that he is the guy that can take the REDBLACKS to the promised land.
And Trevor, Jim, is wearing a mic tonight. Live mic game for the quarterbacks, head coaches. Our mics are live, too. They always are. Welcome to Friday Night Football and a doubleheader here on TSN. Rod Smith, Davis Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan, and Jim Barker here as well. Let's get right to it. The standings. Two big games tonight. Later, BC and Edmonton in the West, and they're battling for the fourth and final playoff spot in the West Division. But there you see Ottawa and Hamilton on top of the East at 8-7, Matty. Ottawa won the first meeting, so they would clinch the season series with a win tonight, get closer to the division. But Hamilton has momentum. They also have running back Alex Greenback.
Yeah, it's huge. And I'm not sure that has anything to do with John White and the lack of production the first time these two teams played. Obviously, William Powell didn't play well in that ball game either. Both defenses shut down the running game. I think it's important for Hamilton and Alex Green or John White, whoever touches the ball tonight, to establish that line of scrimmage, not put all the weight on Jeremiah Masoli's in the offensive line.
Well, it's important for Ottawa and Trevor Harris to distribute the ball properly so that they can move it forward. He hasn't been able to win the big game. That's been the knock on him. He's got to do much better in the red zone. They've been terrible at efficiency in the red zone. He needs to improve there.
Yeah, where they are efficient is a first down quick game, and that's the REDBLACKS, of course. And the way to combat the quick game is play man-to-man coverage and challenge them. I expect that on first down. Carriel Brooks and Richard Leonard against Sinopoli and Ellingson on first down man coverage. Sinopoli and Ellingson got to win.
Davis, is there any chance they might throw a fade on the goal line?
You're waiting for that. You're waiting for that.
And throw a fade on the goal line.
All day.
You know what you rarely see? You rarely see Lewis Ward miss a field goal. This is just practice.
What?
Gives you an idea of the win, though. He hasn't actually missed one in a game since June. He was 7 for 7, scored all of Ottawa's points in that previous game against the Ticats. The kickoff is coming up here on TSN.
The next 2 weeks of the CFL schedule will decide who gets first place and a bye into the East Division Final. He's got Spencer in flight. Ottawa, touchdown.
Masoli over the top, touchdown.
He's going right down to the wire. I can tell you, Erica Beyer of Edmonton, you could win groceries for a year if the kickoff is returned for a touchdown in this game, thanks to the Safeway Sobeys $1 million touchdown to win promotion. And if it happens a second time in this game, you could also be in store for $1 million. Erica, good luck. Rod Black and Dwayne Ford will have the call coming up.
This program may contain coarse language that could offend some viewers. Discretion is advised.
It is Friday Night Mics tonight at TD Place Stadium in the nation's capital. But it is the playoffs before the playoffs. Wind is blowing here tonight. There is a threat of rain in the forecast. It's blowing large here tonight. And the winds of change have also blown through in terms of momentum for both sides.
Yeah, they certainly have. Trevor Harris looks to give his team the edge tonight. He ranks number 3 in the Canadian Football League in passing yards. And as Jim Barker just told you, he wants to prove he can win the big one. Jeremiah Masoli in Hamilton ranks number 2 in the Canadian Football League in passing yards, number 1 in passer efficiency. He's got his Ticats on a little bit of a roll as they look to clinch first place if they can pull off a sweep.
June Jones, his team has won 2 straight, including last week against the Argonauts. The REDBLACKS reeling right now, have lost 2 in a row and have lost their hold on first place, losing to Edmonton last week. One guy who's on a roll, serious streak, 43 straight field goals, Lewis Ward. But the wind is howling here tonight. We'll see if it's in jeopardy. He's one off the all-time pro record, which could fall here tonight in Ottawa. It is crunch time. It is go time. And it's round 2 on the season between the REDBLACKS and the Ticats. Round 3 next week, and away we go. Trevor Harris brings the offense out on the field tonight on Friday Night Football.
Giant. Much has been said about this game 1 of a back-to-back series between these two teams. Could go a long way towards clinching first if either team can sweep.
Still could come down to the final week in those regular season games that they both have as well, but we'll get an indication tonight. Can the Red Blacks end their losing ways and grab hold of first again? Two teams 8 and 7 begin the night here in Ottawa. Harris play action far side. Deontay Spencer with about 7 to 8 yards on that far hash.
Well, we'll take a look at the Ottawa offense. Little play action there because you know the threat of William Powell always exists. One of the top rushers in the Canadian Football League. Change to the offensive line. Posu Matthias makes the start at right tackle, the American in the position usually occupied by Jason Lauzon-Seguin.
Some shuffling for the Red Blacks with injury issues. Need some protection on Harris, and incomplete on 2nd down and 2. Hamilton, by the way, won the toss here tonight. They deferred to the second half. The Red Blacks have the wind here. It blows from left to right over the field. And so the Red Blacks do have the breeze in the first quarter, but they also have their first 2 and out.
Yeah, 2nd down and about 2.5. They couldn't get the completion. Richie Leone, you're going to play for field position. Go for the big punt.
Richie Leone, 2nd in the CFL behind Ty Long of the BC Lions in punting. He has been such a factor. What a platoon, what a combo he and Lewis Ward have formed. Long and the short of it. Frankie Williams with a flag down, watches it bounce out of bounds near the 27-yard line. See what the call is. Our referee tonight is Andre Preux.
Well, the ball was in the air, holding Hamilton number 6, a 10-yard penalty, and a first down Hamilton.
Jeremiah Masoli has come into his own, Dwayne Ford, this season. He is a serious MOP candidate.
Yeah, he certainly is. A terrific year for this young man. Bided his time as a backup through the first several years of his career. Took over as the starter partway through last season.
91 Yukon X9.
Masoli will operate against the wind here in the opening frame. Cat team that scores a lot of points in bunches in the opening quarters. Quick strike offense, and that was kind of a wobbly shot. May have been altered a bit. Luke Tasker has the first catch for the Cats. Close to a first down.
Well, we'll take a look at this Hamilton Tiger Cat
Look
offense.
who's back.
Yes, sir. Markway McDaniel makes his return. He has first start as a Hamilton Tiger Cat in this incarnation. Kelvin Palmer has taken over that left tackle spot as the Ticats look to solidify their offensive line down the stretch.
Never mind.
Dane Evans, former Tulsa Golden Hurricane, is the backup quarterback, and he's the short yardage guy, and he gets the first down of the ball game.
Well, defensively for these Ottawa Red Blacks, look at their D-line. I like this group. Michael Clausen managing to stay healthy this year. That's always been the struggle for him, having a real good year for the Red Blacks. Another former Montreal Alouette, Chris Aki, acquired in trade a couple of weeks ago. Gives them ratio flexibility, allowing them to move Anthony Chaffee from nickel back to the free safety spot with Antoine Pruneau, the Canadian, injured.
Talked with Pruneau yesterday, hopes to be back before the playoffs. They'll hand it off to Alex Green. Over the last couple of weeks, it's been John White in the backfield, and he has been outstanding. But Alex Green did get hurt, and June Jones, veteran coach, you don't lose your job to injury. White is on the roster tonight, but he is a scratch.
Yeah, on that 46, but not one of the 44 active.
What a luxury, though, having both John White and Alex Green. Even June said yesterday he might try to find a way to get them both into that backfield at some point. So they'll go from the gun here on 2nd and 7. Cats #1 in the CFL in this department, and what a catch! Brandon Banks laying out.
Now, I'll tell you the argument from the Ottawa bench right here. When Banks goes down, I don't think anyone touches him down. And he holds the ball up and it gets knocked out. He's not down by contact. The ball gets knocked out. To me, that's a fumble.
It may not even been a catch. But they quickly bring it to the line of scrimmage, and they'll hand it off to Green again. Behind his posse. Couple of yards. Factor for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, particularly on this roll of late, has been this offensive line.
Yeah, and it's been a group that has gone through some change.
H on trade to right, tar, 51 T-swing, X-slant, F-drag, wide twist, Atlanta. Sun, ready? Slant.
We mentioned Palmer taking over for Avery Jordan at left tackle. Palmer's a guy who's been around the league a little bit, hasn't played a lot. But a bit of CFL experience.
Good protection, swinging it out to Green. Couldn't get caught there, and Green down the sideline. And Alex Green, huge gain for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. He just hitched it out to Green, made one miss, and then he went for 41.
Yeah, watch Green start that motion early. And he's got all kinds of space. As you see, the chase is coming from Aki all the way on the backside. So Green's got him outflanked. There's no one else to contain that. And Brandon Banks, we've talked about it before, smallest guy on the field, ferocious blocker.
Explosive Hamilton offense. Racks up more yardage than any other team in the league. Number 2 passing, number 2 rushing. 3rd overall in points scored, and Jeremiah Masoli will again work on 2nd down. We talked about it before, such a key 2nd down conversion rate. 52% for the Cats this season. By far best in the league.
Let's go, fellas. 2nd and 7. Trade left, 91. Levels wide Q. Z over. Sun, ready? Yeah.
3 for 3 on 2nd downs on this drive outside the 20-yard line.
Let's go!
REDBLACKS show blitz. They come off the edge. Alex Green picks him up and going to the end zone. Jump ball. It's caught. Luke Tasker didn't even have to jump. And that was a toss into the wind, which affected the ball. There's a flag in the end zone as Tasker has the touchdown. 22-yard major score.
It was defensive pass interference. Ottawa number 14. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Green does a nice job here coming across the formation to pick up that blitz. Masoli feeling a little bit of pressure. He's got to get the ball out early, so he puts some air under it. Luke Tasker, I think, called a fair catch on that one. Made the adjustment to the ball as the defender had trouble tracking it. 17 pulls it in, and the Cats have the lead.
10th touchdown of the season. Luke Tasker coming off a hat-trick performance last week. Lirim Hajrullahu pours it through. What a start for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Lightning quick, as usual. Masoli, 26th touchdown pass of the season, and Hamilton has a 7-0 lead. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Mid-October, wind blowing tonight. Luke Tasker in the end zone again. 4th time in the last 2 weeks for cool hands Luke, his 10th major of the season.
Man.
RJ Harris is back for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Starting games has been an issue for this team this season. Only averaging 4 points in the opening quarter offensively. Ball will blow off the tee. They may have to pin this one. Happened a few times here tonight.
Well, they're talking about the possibility of rain here in Ottawa this evening, but the bigger concern to me weather-wise is that stiff wind.
Dante Spencer on the return up near the 30-yard line. Trevor Harris and the Red Blacks, and of course Lewis Ward, who has been St. Louis in Ottawa this season. Well, here's a guy who's been in the news lately. Adam Vinatieri broke Morton Anderson's record. Time field goals made. The Indianapolis Colts, four-time Super Bowl champion, 45 years young. Young man north of the border could threaten that tonight. He's one off tying Adam Vinatieri. Lewis Ward, who is writing a Disney movie himself this year, is he not?
A fantastic story he has been.
Here we go. Yo, gold left.
Taking a quick look at this Hamilton Tiger Cat defense. Nikita Whitlock and Julian Hauser have been terrific. Filling in for Neil and Tracy on that D-line. Don Unamba, terrific pickup for the Ticats this season, solidifying the nickel linebacker spot. Keep an eye on Cariel Brooks, boundary halfback. He's had a good time here in his second season.
Another long toss, dangerous toss. Juggled though. R.J. Harris streaking down the far sideline. My, oh my. Could have gone the other way very easily. And then R.J. Harris plays hot potato on the far sideline and takes it for 58 yards.
Yeah, keep an eye on R.J. Harris out on the hash mark. Number 2 receiver to the field. Richard Leonard knows that's a long throw to the wide side, takes a gamble. And the narrow miss proves costly.
On first down, inside the red zone immediately. Big play from the Red Blacks, and the CFL rushing leader. Another good story in Ottawa this year is William Powell could become the first Ottawa running back since Orville Lee back in 1988 to win the rushing race.
Over here.
As a member
Bobcat
of the Rough Riders then.
Bobcat split.
Big play from the Red Blacks. Don't have a lot of them this season, but a great crew of receivers. Harris stands in, looks end zone, goal line, and very similar play to the one at the other end. R.J. Harris, though, could not come down with it. And so, as we have said so many times, 47 times as a matter of fact this season, Lewis Ward on the field. He's 46 of 47, has missed only once. There's his mom Angela, his dad John. He's become quite a story here. This is a chance to tie Adam Vinatieri for the all-time mark of 44 straight. He has the wind. It's a short one, 24 yards. Lewis Ward has now joined Adam Vinatieri in pro football's all-time record book. Guy who had undrafted, played his college ball here, walked on, and has walked on with glory, and mom and dad loving it. 26-year-old Lewis Ward grew up down the road in Kingston, was born in England, came to Canada playing soccer as a youngster and has taken his talents to football, and now he is mentioned in the same breath as one of the greatest kickers of all time, Adam Vinatieri.
Oh, what a way to start a career. You got to wonder, where does it go from here for Lewis Ward? What do you do for an encore, kid?
Does not miss. Masoli laying out and hanging on is Luke Tasker. They're saying it's incomplete. He did not complete the catch. Good from this side.
You got me on a turnout.
Yeah, Tasker going horizontal for this one, but takes that shot.
Trio right, 391. Miss.
Unable to make the squeeze.
Rare that he doesn't make it. Another second down conversion. That was Masoli's first incompletion of the night, by the way. Deep back pedal. Now he goes hard and picked off. Sherrod Baltimore on the near side. The timing route that was ill-timed by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Sherrod Baltimore has his first pick of the season at the perfect time. Here's Sherrod Baltimore, the former Maine Black Bear, has his first interception of the season and some theatrics to boot.
Well, this one got away from Jeremiah Masoli, the overthrow intended for Justin Buren. Baltimore in good position, makes the play. But I think my favorite highlight at the end of this was the hurdle over top of the table. Field side. Big fan of Sherrod Baltimore, a guy who really came on as a rookie last year, but found himself out in the cold this season. As the season started, a couple new faces in that secondary, and the emergence of Corey Tyndall left him off the roster to start the year, but worked hard, fought his way back on, and comes up with a big play here for his Red Blacks.
Tuesday! Hurry, set!
Just over 5 minutes, first quarter. William Powell, first left side, gets a couple of nice blocks, has more than half the first down yardage. On the sideline, reporting again for us tonight from the nation's capital, let's go to Matthew Shinetti.
Well, Rod, it's going to be a bit of a task to get that ball if, in fact, that Lewis Ward does go ahead and kick that 45th one, which will be the all-time pro football record for consecutive field goals made. Now, talking to R.J. James, who is the equipment guru for the Red Blacks, they are getting a bit of a system down here. So because we're in the east and there is a parquet behind us, if the kick does happen, it does go through, security is ready to go run and grab the ball, and they are going to be able to grab every single ball that he kicks. And we'll see right now if he goes to get that 45th one, Ron.
Well, this would be a long one. In fact,
it's a field goal team that has come out rather than a punt.
This would be his longest. No attempts beyond the 50-yard line, by the way, in this streak.
This one's going to be from 52.
His longest is 47. Now, again, there is a big win. So how about this drama to try and break the all-time record?
Be ready for the fake.
Kick is up, and this is good! The can't miss kid does it again! Oh, how about that? Lewis Ward.
Well, I asked what he was going to do for an encore. Well, how about a career long to set the new record?
52 yards. 52 yards for Lewis Ward. And no one was more nervous than his parents.
You know, Dad looked confident the whole time. It was Mom. Mom was nervous.
Alex Green, left side. Well, I don't know if there's been so much excitement over 2 field goal makes in a first quarter. And the Red Blacks, by the way, are still trailing the game. But Lewis Ward, 45 in a row.
And I'll tell you, the fans here are aware there was a buzz as he lined up for the 52, because the fans know, you know, some would make the argument that during the streak there haven't been a lot of long field goal attempts for Lewis Ward. That Red Blacks have not tried a lot of long field goals, so there was a buzz knowing what was on the line when he lined up at 52.
Solely to Banks. Looks like he has yardage close to another first down. Adam Vinatieri move over. Lewis Ward has an all-time record, pro football, 45 consecutive field goals made. Mike Vanderjagt, of course, was on that board, a Canadian kicker as well. He was with the Colts. And it's a little bit different. Obviously, it's a lot different. NFL to CFL, where the field goal posts are, the way the game plays out. But guess what? 45 in a row as a rookie.
Accurate is accurate.
Accurate is accurate.
And a little love for his battery mates over there as well.
Oh, and I'm not sure they got it. Of course, Richie Leone does the holding, and LP, Louis-Philippe Bourassa, is the long snapping. It is a battery.
Yeah, all three of them have been perfect on 45 straight.
It is a first down for the Cats now, with a 1-point lead, 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. All the drama surrounding the streak. The biggest drama tonight, though, is between these two teams. Postseason feel. Back-to-back weeks they play each other for first place. And Alex Green on first down. Ripped down. Ettore Latanzio is back in the lineup. First time all season. Groin injury that just was so bothersome. So excited to be back.
Yeah, another local boy, but a great boost to the roster. This is a guy
F-drag, wide twist, Atlanta, son, ready?
Who's been very important the last couple of years in that defensive line rotation. A little bit undersized guy at the D tackle spot, but tremendous quickness, great low center of gravity, a productive player.
Another GG, as a matter of fact, here, University of Ottawa, over the top. Banks again, and Brandon Banks came into tonight, second in the CFL, and receiving yardage. First in second down completions. That's now 37 on the season.
Toro quads left, 34-10 for Lanai. Son, ready?
For a guy that you don't necessarily label as the prototypical possession receiver, it's an underrated part of his game. Everybody looks at him as the big play threat, the speed guy. But Brandon Banks is a pretty complete player.
There he is again. Speedy B. Look out now down the sideline. Won't be caught. Touchdown. Brandon Banks does it again. We talk about Jeremiah Masoli being an MOP candidate. He's got a co-candidate in Hamilton this year in Speedy B.
That's right. Masoli might be hurting his own cause every time he puts the ball in the hands of his teammate, number 16. Well-blocked play. We'll take a look at it after, but nicely blocked by the other receivers there to spring Banks.
11th major of the season, all receiving for Brandon Banks, who, of course, burst into this league really as a return threat. And since June Jones came in, and he and Jeremiah Masoli have got together, he told us yesterday about the connection, the chemistry. He said he and Masoli, he said for Jeremiah is a brother, like a brother from another mother. They are so close together, and that connection has been magical this season. All the hype and celebration surrounding Lewis Ward's streak, but the Hamilton Tiger Cats lead the way. Tasker, then Banks, two of the best in the game. From Masoli, one of the best in the game. And it's a 14-6 game after one quarter on Friday Night Football. Battle in the East continues.
This program may contain coarse language that could offend some viewers. Discretion is advised.
A terrific start to this showdown in the East. The team against the wind has scored 2 touchdowns. The team with the wind has scored 2 field goals. Lewis Ward breaks the all-time consecutive field goals made record, but coming into this game, Dwayne, we have 4 of the top 5 receivers in the CFL, and 2 of those 4 were very impactful for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Yeah, well, you look at the dynamic duo for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, a team that has battled injuries in that receiving core all year. Luke Tasker, Brandon Banks, those guys have been terrific. They've been the go-to guys. They've been consistent throughout the year. You know, I mean, those guys have battled injuries at times as well, but certainly huge part of the identity of the passing offense of the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Deontay Spencer near the 25-yard line, but Brandon Banks takes over the receiving touchdown lead with 11, one ahead of Duke Williams with this one.
Yeah, and I want you to keep an eye on the work of the other 3 receivers on that side. You've got Justin Buren outside, Markway McDaniel, and Luke Tasker out in front. Banks bringing up the rear. He's getting the ball, but watch how these guys take care of business on the blocks, working for their fellow receiver to spring them. They all get on their guy, maintain their blocks. That's what makes this play a success. As a receiver, it's not just about what you do when the ball's coming your way, but also what you do to help other guys make plays.
Trevor Harris rolling to his left, and that just kind of slipped right from his grasp. Was looking maybe for Ellingson on the short side, a little further downfield, and then opted to go to the shorter receiver. And it all went astray.
Yeah, as he rolls out, he's got two receivers to that side. You see Spencer going to the flat. It looked like that's where he was going, or maybe tried to redirect to that, but he had Ellingson a little deeper on that sideline with a comeback route.
Tuesday! Hurry, son!
Second down, Harris threads the needle and knocked down. And just one first down so far for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. And we talked about their slow starts. Notoriously slow this season. And it continues into the second quarter. They're going to have to kick again.
Keep an eye looking for Sinopoli. Cariel Brooks, we mentioned him off the top. Emerging at that boundary halfback spot.
Leone drives it into the wind. Line drive. Frankie Williams. Not much room there. He's brought down by Andrew Marshall with his 10th special teams tackle. Hamilton with an 8-point lead on Friday Night Football in Ottawa.
Well, Brandon Banks has been absolutely remarkable. So much has been said over the last season and a half about what he has done. But you look here in 2018, most 100-yard receiving games in a single season in Ticat history. Guess who's number one? Brandon Banks at 9, ahead of a couple of great names.
Don't be surprised if he makes a 10 here the way he's going in this one. Pats now with the wind. Good starting point for a team that is last in the CFL in starting position on the field. And good on it, though, as they hand it off to Alex Green. Far side of the field, likely setting up a throwing down here for the Cats. Brandon Banks, again, has done nothing but catch, run, and score since June Jones took over last year.
Playing field position, right? Giving up a point doesn't matter. We got to go north-south if we catch it.
And Rick Campbell with some advice for his return man, Deontay Spencer. Should the REDBLACKS get a stop and force a punt here.
Second down. Solely to Banks, and there's something you don't see every day. That time, juggled it, couldn't hang on to it. To the Ottawa bench. Here's it from them, but probably reminded them of the score and the fact that he's already been in the end zone.
Nice touch here from Jeremiah Masoli to drop this one in. You see Banks with the bobble. Masoli recognizing the missed opportunity.
Hiram Hairelahu. And you heard Rick Campbell talk about giving up that point. That's what they do. They want field position, something they haven't had so far in this one. Down 15-6. Another record-breaking night, record-breaking season for a raw rookie who was a security guard last year. Matthew Shinetti is in the Ward. Matthew.
Absolutely, Rod. I'm probably the best seat of the house with Angela Ward and John Ward. Now, I have to ask you, Angela, we had a look at what your reaction was when the kick went through. Take us through what your emotions were.
Oh, I'm scared every kick. I just pray, cross my fingers, and just know that he's going to do it.
Hurry, son!
John, I haven't met you very long, but I can tell you're a composed man, and I can see where your son gets it. Take us through, where does his mentality come from?
I don't really know. As a young kid, he's always listened to coaches, and never had a negative reaction to what anybody's told him in terms of the GG coaches and REDBLACKS and back to his soccer days. He just takes it calm and just goes through with it.
So he's not actually going to go like, oh, I've just done 45. He's not going to go, I'm the best guy and all over Twitter and stuff. He's just going to stay calm.
Now, I'm also Rod with his girlfriend, Erica. And Erica, how did you feel when that kick went up?
I'm super confident in him. He's doing what he wants to do, so he's good.
Angela, how many kicks do you think he can make? He's at 45 right now. What do you think?
He's going to go all the way to the Grey Cup.
And that's all you need, a mother's confidence. Rod?
Yes. Well, mom's proud, dad's proud. City of Ottawa so proud of Lewis Ward. Again, this is a guy who was a security guard at last year's Grey Cup game in this stadium as a kicker at the University of Ottawa. And now he's a record breaker. Can't write that stuff. Dominic Davis comes in. Key third down here for the Red Blacks. They have to get to the 45. Box is loaded up. Davis trying to make them jump. And it looks like they are going to take
Time count violation. Ottawa number 4. A 5-yard penalty.
It was third and about 1.5.
What's wrong with it?
Say what?
What was wrong with it?
And Dominic Davis looked like he didn't like what he was seeing.
Rick Campbell's reaction suggests basically if they didn't get a look that they liked to run the play that they had called, that they would do this, take the time count and punt the football. So Campbell's asking, you know, suggesting that from where he was, it looked like what they wanted.
Another 2 and out. This off the side of the foot. This is a bad kick. A penalty, and it's going to be a great starting point for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Make your getaway with intelligent all-wheel drive in the 2018 Nissan Qashqai.
So they add the penalty on to where it went out of bounds. And look at where it ends up. The 50-yard line of the Ottawa Red Blacks for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Richie Leone is one of the best punters in the game, and I think it speaks volumes tonight of the wind that he's kicking into.
Yeah, not the change in field position you're looking for when you decide not to take the third down gamble and opt to punt the football for field position, and the net is virtually nil.
Masoli. And this was almost picked off by Anthony Chaffee. Was lurking. Almost had his first CFL interception.
Yeah, working towards the top left of your screen. He's going to make this break to the middle. It was Marquay McDaniel who got a hand in there. Masoli went straight to McDaniel after this play to thank him for the bailout.
Yeah, that would have been an interception. Again, virtually no difference in yardage to that third down time count. Pats looking to make the Red Blacks pay. Oh, Masoli, lots of steamboats here. Near sideline. And it's incomplete. Good coverage. Masoli was running out of receivers, running out of room. So now the kick team will come out.
On the Red Blacks D. Creates a little bit of a bailout there. After the Ticats were gifted a short field.
Was intended for McDaniel. Another one that will bounce into the end zone for another point by Lirim Hairolahu. There is a flag on the far side of the field. This just as they were launching the football. Andre Proust coming over to the Hamilton sideline. Andre Proust discussing this with the Ticats.
No way, you're going to take the point. It's 5 yards. Where's the ball going to be? The ball's going to be on the right yard line.
Their first down on the 5-yard line. You don't get the point.
Put him
You
on the
don't
5.
get the point. Put him on the 5. You want them on the
Yes,
5? Yes.
So you can hear what's happening there.
If we take the penalty.
Take the point and they go to 35. Take the point off the scoreboard, it goes to 35. While the ball was in the air, we had holding Ottawa number 47. That penalty will be applied from the 10-yard line to the 5 and a first down Ottawa.
So long field after all of that. Near pick by the Red Blacks. They need points right now, though. Not enough first downs, too many 2-and-outs. Shaw road to the Grey Cup. Keeps on rolling tonight. Second game of a Friday Night Football doubleheader. Eskimos and Lions in the Wild, Wild West. Right after this one, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific across the TSN network. So there is
On
no
the previous
point
play,
applied.
we had holding Ottawa number 47 while the ball was in the air. Hamilton elected to have the penalty applied from the 10-yard line. There is no score. First down Ottawa at the 5.
June Jones would rather give them this field position than that 1 point, which would have resulted in much better field position for Ottawa, who's really struggling offensively here tonight. Handed off to William Powell, CFL rushing leader up near the 10. Average starting position usually factors against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Tonight, it's all about the win.
Here we go, left tough. Left tough.
Yeah, average starting field position for these teams with the wind.
Hey, Indigo. Bump, bump.
It's been the 47-yard line
Snap.
against the wind, the 26. These last couple of starts for the respective teams obviously influencing that greatly, the average.
Second down conversions not good for the Red Blacks. 1 for 6 so far. Here's the rush. And Harris, looks like a catch. And there's a flag down at the goal line. And might be a late hit. It would add 15 yards on here.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Hamilton number 11. A 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the play and a first down Ottawa.
Deontay Spencer the catch. Larry Dean roughing the passer.
Oh, Dean, the middle linebacker. Has a late blitz from depth. Bit of a tough call.
A lot of controversy and sometimes mystery surrounding the roughing the passer calls. And with all due respect to the officials, they're down there and players who play.
Atlanta.
It's kind of like
There's not a more difficult game to officiate when you've got 24 moving parts plus the ball on every play.
Go ahead.
It ain't easy.
No. And you know you want to protect the quarterbacks in this league. Here comes that blitz. Harris gets hit again. Deep ball overthrown against the wind, and it floated on Trevor Harris. So again, they'll have to kick, but they did gain some yardage thanks to that completion and the penalty. So it could be a lot worse. Trevor Harris just 4 for 10. This is a high completion guy. Not so much tonight.
Point out, sacks are a bonus, but the reason you pressure the quarterback is to create inaccurate throws like that.
Hamilton does a lot of that. They're near the bottom of the league in sacks. Create a lot of pressure. Frankie Williams down by the long snapper downfield. 15-6, Hamilton leads. Commentator Outdoor Clothing is brought to you by Nobis. This is Nobis.
You're getting it, you're getting it.
Alex Green.
Let's go, 2nd and 3, 2nd and 3.
I thought he had it.
Red. Trips right. Hey, Toro, trips
Midway,
right. 91
second
spot,
quarter.
levels, YQ, son, ready? Hey, let's go, let's go!
Sends out 5. It's Banks once more. Rico Murray runs him out of bounds on the far side.
See Brandon Banks using the speed to run that quick out.
Flank right. Flank right. 32 Denver, F arc. Son, ready?
And Masoli with the wind. Brandon Banks already close to 100 tonight for the 10th time of the season. We're not even at halftime yet. Ticat team, Dwayne, that came in with a lot of mojo, though.
Yeah, you've gotten the sense in recent weeks from this Hamilton team, a team for whom the struggle was always the closeout. Putting games away when they had fourth quarter leads, developing the killer instinct, and they seem to have found that.
Opposite left, Tar. 351 max. T swing. X slant.
Soli's calling the play, but there's an injured red
Why?
black.
Because Atlanta. Okay.
Danny Mason.
Yeah, Atlanta.
Injured Ottawa player.
Yeah, exactly.
Danny Mason has become a really important guy on that Ottawa defensive line. Long, athletic. D-end got his opportunity when Jonathan Newsom went down. Avery Ellis. Mason, guy who'd spent some time with Calgary before, has stepped up and has proven to be a very good bookend opposite AC Leonard on that D-line.
Native of Louisville, Kentucky. Texas A&M Commerce. One game last year with the Stamps. And a force this year with the Red Blacks. Who won the first meeting between these two teams. This is round 2, round 3 next week. Back at Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton. First game was back in July. Ottawa won 21-15.
Let it roll, let it roll.
Soli sends everybody out, moves the pocket, extends the play, and then goes chucking. And it is caught at the 4-yard line by Mike Jones. His first catch of the night is a huge one. And Jeremiah Masoli's ability to move the pocket made everything happen.
You're going to see Mike Jones ran a long way to allow this completion to happen. Outside receiver on the right-hand side. He takes it deep. Quarterback's in trouble. He keeps working across.
Crowd looking on the board and reacting, thought maybe it wasn't a catch. No matter now. Alex Green trying to find the end zone. To the 3-yard line. Second down and goal.
That's spotted just outside the 2-yard line.
In here. Trips left cluster. 91 Yukon. Over here to the field. We got prop. Son, ready? Trying to get 2.
Soli in the gun. Alex Green right beside him. Will he go? Will he throw? Decides to throw. Easy touchdown. Second of the night for Luke Tasker. 5th in his last 2 games.
A great pattern, the combination of routes between the 3 receivers into the boundary. You had the sense when he called that play, where he's calling the boundary side first and then just tagged what was on the wide side at the end, that this was going to be his primary read. 2 receivers break in, Tasker breaks out. Defenders have to sit back a little bit to sort it out. Just a quick completion. Masoli to Tasker. And as you said, a rather prolific scoring combination the last 2 weeks.
Hairelahu buries it. Luke Tasker has now joined Brandon Banks at 11 touchdowns each this season. Now leads the CFL, both of them tied for first. On another quick response by the Hamilton Tiger Cats when they get the football.
So you're going to see Banks goes in, Buren goes in, and then you're going to see Luke Tasker with the quick break out to the flat. But because of that cluster, see Sherrod Baltimore on the outside. He's got to sit back and try and sort things out. By the time he does, Luke Tasker is open in front of him in the end zone. So the Hamilton Tiger Cats cover 69 yards in 6 plays. 3 minutes and 25 seconds off the clock as they have their 3rd touchdown of the night, 2nd for Tasker. Make it a 22-6 lead.
Rick Campbell, chatting with us yesterday, talked about the importance, obviously, of this game, but also things that they had to correct, and obviously finishing, but also time of possession. Said he needed the football more, keep his defense off the field, keep Hamilton's offense off the field. Deontay Spencer could help out here. Good return. That hasn't worked so much. Again, the Cats are #1 in the CFL in time of possession. They own it here tonight as well.
Well, they dominated through the first quarter of this football game. Over 10 minutes time of possession for them through the first 15.
It's kind of like turnovers. If you make more turnovers in a game, you're going to lose generally. If you have the football a lot, good chance you're going to win.
Thursday!
Ottawa needs an answer before halftime. Sinopoli makes his first catch of the night up near the 50.
Well, and the thing I'll point out for Hamilton in terms of that time of possession, the Angry Bird, John Perlberg, has just updated that time of possession. 16 minutes and 24 seconds for the Hamilton Ticats, 9:08 for Ottawa. But the key is not just long drives, but long, successful drives, finishing with touchdowns.
2nd down and 5 again.
Hurry, son.
Cats load up the box. Don Unumba comes in, flying at Harris, who had to throw quickly again. And now the Boo Birds are starting to come out here in Ottawa. Another drive that is stopped by a stout Hamilton D here tonight and a sputtering Ottawa offense.
Yeah, keep an eye on the free safety. Mike Daly just on the green logo in the middle of the field. Spying Sinopoli, comes downhill to step in and make the play.
5 2-and-outs on 7 drives for the Red Blacks. Much better kick by Leone. Matthew Williams retreats back near his 10. Hamilton has a long field now after a 48-yard boot. We talked about the mojo and the vibe coming in, definitely favoring the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Especially favoring this guy, number 8.
Yeah, you look at the last 7 games, and obviously the number that matters is the one at the top of that graphic, the 5-2 record. But some big reasons why. See Jeremiah Masoli averaging over 300 yards a game during that stretch, completing close to 70% of his passes. 2.5 times as many touchdowns as interceptions. Masoli approaching 200 yards through the air here tonight before halftime.
3 touchdown passes already. It was Amigos, Banks and Tasker. All the injuries to the receivers for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and Banks and Tasker just keep doing it. So does Masoli, an injury on the field, and also the 3-minute warning before halftime.
7-Eleven's Pumpkin Spice Latte, your favorite fall flavor.
Coming up at the half, back in studio, Rod Smith, Jim Barker, Davis Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan standing by. Talk about this first half, and everybody talked about the rivalry coming in, and these two teams tied atop the East. It's been a blowout so far for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Ettore Latanzio is down on the field. They'll also look ahead to the second half of our Friday night doubleheader.
Latanzio with what looked like a shoulder issue as he got tangled up on the tackle there.
Hard luck guy this year, huh? There's a guy who had 5 sacks back in 2016. Look at him sprint off the field, though. I don't think anything will keep him off the field.
Yeah, that's a tough dude right there.
Another former University of Ottawa Gigi, like Sinopoli, like Lewis Ward, and others.
350. K9, T-Shark left, Sun, ready? Regular Sun, no problem.
Cats will start at their 24-yard line.
Sun.
Ottawa REDBLACKS getting torched right now. Down 22-6. Solely having his way, floats one up for Green, spinning, and Alex Green got some yards after contact.
That's a terrific effort after the catch by Alex Green. Masoli had to put some air on the football to get it over top of that defensive line. But the end result of that is it means that people are closing on Green by the time that ball comes down. Doesn't have a ton of time to react. A nice spin right there out of the grasp of the defender to turn that into a positive play.
Positive play, short of the first down by about 3 yards. So Lirim Hairolahu. Benefit of the breeze. Kick. Dante Spencer trying to set something up here. Finds a seam, makes one miss. Now it's a foot race, and Spencer will step out of bounds eventually on Hamilton's side of the field. Slippery Deontay Spencer. 29-yard return. And a good starting point finally for Trevor Harris, who needs to get something going before halftime.
That was nice execution of the special teams game plan by Bob Dice's boys for Ottawa. They do a great job double teaming the contain man. You're going to see right here in the cluster Courtney Stephen, one of the special teams tackles leaders for Hamilton. They made sure they got him looked after to Spring Spencer.
There's a completion over the top on first down. And the issue for second downs really has related a lot to first down production tonight.
Absolutely, that first down production is key. Whole lot more options and things in your favor in second and short.
More receptions than any other receiver this year, and Ted Laurent jumped. Will move the ball ahead another 5 yards.
Offside. Hamilton, number 97. A 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
You see offensive coordinator Jamie Elizondo
W over the top, W
in
middle,
amongst
Rodney.
the crowd on the sidelines. Hoping he can find some answers for a strong finish here in the final 2 minutes for his REDBLACKS offense.
Tuesday!
R.J. Harris in motion and then comes back to the ball. Interesting play call that time. Looked like they were setting up a jet sweep. R.J. Harris turns, and you kind of heard it in the cadence in the backfield for Trevor Harris, directing R.J. Harris. First down.
Hey, machete!
Misdirection here. Harris is going to be the inside of those 4 receivers, inside man.
Here we go, Raptor.
Motions down tight, then redirects.
Tuesday!
Perhaps getting lost in coverage as they think he's going to be part of the blocking scheme.
Ottawa's best drive so far here. Had a big play earlier. R.J. Harris, they got within the goal line and then backed up and had to kick field goals. 2 of them tonight by Lewis Ward. Larry Dean.
Here we go, 64.
Looking at the scoreboard.
Hey, Utah. Hey, fast Chico. Texas.
And thought it was a fumble. And Dean looking up at that board.
Tuesday!
Wanted a fumble call.
Hurry, son!
Whistle had blown, though. Harris again had to be quick as Unumba was in on him. Sinopoli's 3rd catch of the night. 104 on the season. Moving closer to the all-time record for Canadian receivers in a season.
Quad's right.
And here's the follow-up of what we talked about in that first down production. That time, not great on first down, get into a second and long situation. That's where you need somebody to come up with a play for you. Brad Sinopoli did just that.
Red zone time. William Powell bounces back. Finally they get some positive yardage. So now it'll be a second down, a key one here, with 1:07 to go before the half. And you almost have to think it's a must touchdown time here for the Ottawa Redblacks. Lots of game left. They need momentum, confidence.
Tango Byron left, 64. Hey, W Ghost. Tango to Byron left, Trump special. You got the diagonal, Trump special.
Yeah, venturing deep into Hamilton territory here. What has been the Redblacks' best drive of this entire football game.
Tuesday! Hurry, son!
Down near the goal line, Greg Ellingson. First catch for a guy who is Mr. Clutch on second down. That is a key one for 82. Down near the goal line.
And you saw the ball pop out as Ellingson was on his way down. The Tiger Cats are trying to sell this as an incomplete pass, suggesting he didn't have control.
June Jones is waiting to hear from up top, looking at some replays. He's got that yellow challenge flag. He may challenge
ruling
this.
on the field is there was a catch. The ball was fumbled, but it was recovered by Ottawa, so it will be first down Ottawa on the 1-yard line.
So that will be reviewed anyways. Well, it wasn't a turnover. It was actually a fumble. Would not be automatically reviewed.
Yeah. And I agree with the interpretation. Ellingson catches the ball, makes a football move in turning, getting himself turned around. The ball clearly comes out before he's down, but Ellingson is the guy who recovers.
Redblacks take a lot of field goals. Looking for a touchdown. Dominic Davis stuffed at the goal line, but he has the touchdown. Finally, the Redblacks break the seal.
Terrific drive put together by the Redblacks.
He just barely got in here.
Yeah, from here it looked like he got stuffed, but the officials have that view right down the line. Patrick MacArthur, the man in perfect position, our umpire to make the call.
So the Redblacks, who take the most two-point convert attempts and make the most, 13 of 18 on the season. Trevor Harris, 8 of 12 throwing on two-point convert attempts.
Looking to turn this into a one-possession game before the break.
And really looking to turn things around for the Ottawa Redblacks and their fortunes here tonight. It was all Hamilton in the first half. William Powell with the two-point convert. One-possession game.
I like the two-point play call here from Ottawa. They get some motion to that wide side of the field. Creates a little bit of a look as if they're going to try and maybe move the pocket, throw it out to the flat, gets the defense to loosen up a little bit, and then catch them off guard with Powell running it up between the tackles.
Different ball game now. Red Black team that looks so flat. Opening quarter.
Go push out, go push.
And really for about 13 minutes of the second quarter.
I don't know. I don't know either. Up here.
Now back in here, and they need to be in. First game of back-to-backs that could very well decide first place in the East.
Yeah, I got
48 seconds to go before halftime.
And an important kick and cover here for the Ottawa Redblacks.
Giglione handles the kicks. Frankie Williams, a couple of misses downfield. Frankie Williams breaks free up near the 40. Down he goes, and this gives Jeremiah Masoli a couple of shots to get this in field goal position. And remember, they have the wind. After a great return by Frankie Williams, he should have been stopped back at the 20.
A nice second effort by Williams. Couple great moves right at the start of that to make people miss.
Toro trips right, 391, Navy, X pivot, wide level, son, ready?
37 seconds.
Hey, H level.
Lots of time to get this in field goal position. Hyralahu's got a good leg. There's one. Oh, and Justin Buren has his first catch of the night.
And great snatch here from Buren. Outside receiver, outside that hash mark. Throws a little bit outside, he extends. You saw the defender reacting, thinking that throw was going to sail a little bit to the outside.
Simon Fraser Starr out of Coquitlam. Education studies at SFU and former 5th round pick.
Hey, listen up, listen up. This is what we're doing right here.
Season with Hamilton, getting a chance to play with all the injuries.
They're making the most of it.
So we'll go trips right. Is that the 3? No. Let's go trips left.
They can take their time in that huddle. There's an injured player again.
We'll point out as Hamilton has moved the ball quickly down the field here. Lirim Hajrullahu, 6 for 6 from 50+ yards this season.
Trips right, 91 D, flip 91.
16 of 20 beyond the 40, career long. He's 53.
May have hit a big field goal in this stadium before.
Yeah, almost a year ago.
All right, I want you to the field.
For the Argos.
So you're going to the boundary.
Same night that Lewis Ward was on the sideline as a security guard, watching Hajrullahu and Rennie Paredes warm up for that game. And kind of dreaming, maybe that'll be me someday. Now he has a record.
Dog over there. Son, ready?
So they'll still have to wait because Justin Rose is slow to get off this field. That could be a difficult injury for the REDBLACKS to absorb right now.
Yeah, well, and I think Hamilton was taking a look to see who was down and how that was going to impact the shuffling in the Ottawa secondary. Chaffee from free safety to nickel as Butler goes to Rose's corner.
Close to field goal position almost right now, as a matter of fact, with 23 to go. Luke Tasker. Now you could take a shot to the end zone too, although it's second down. You'd like to get your first down and you still maybe have 2 more plays.
90.
So as much as June Jones setting up for a field goal, you might take a shot. And he is taking a shot over the top. Oh, downfield. That one is costly. Luke Tasker, Anthony Chaffee. There's a dust up down near the 5-yard line.
Major foul. Unnecessary roughness. Ottawa number 24. A 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down, Ottawa.
The ball clearly gone. Yeah. Taking a headshot. And I'll tell you what, at the end of the previous play, as Luke Tasker went back to the huddle, he kind of brushed by Anthony Chaffee, and Chaffee had words for him. And you don't know, but you certainly wonder if that was on Chaffee's mind as to why he elected to take that shot.
So that would have been third down. They would have had to kick. Instead, it's now first down with 15. Now, they got time for 2 plays here. Maybe even 3.
Let's go, let's go!
So the Cats, who are setting up probably for a field goal attempt, put it the end zone if they play it right. Now, Masoli ducks and takes off. And Jeremiah Masoli looking at that clock. And down to 7 seconds. We'll get it in better field goal position. I'm not sure if they have time for 1 shot at the end zone. It would have to be quick.
I think they got to play it safe at this point and kick the football.
They are going to bring out Lirim Hajrullahu and the kick team. And Masoli, maybe with another 3 seconds, might be tempted to go for 1 more play, but it's 6 seconds. And one thing you don't want to do is leave without any points. So Hajrullahu with Luke Tasker holding. 21-yarder chip shot for Hajrullahu. Making a 2-possession lead again for the Hamilton Tiger Cats at the half. Still 4 seconds. Hopkins to play. And now the tempers are short. And probably got a lot shorter after that Chaffee hit on Luke Tasker.
Well, you've got the offensive line still on the field and Chaffee still on the field for that field goal. That I believe that's where a lot of the animosity was in that last scrum. But I mentioned going back to the play before Chaffee made the hit on Tasker. Tasker makes the catch, a little bit of roughhousing. Tasker, as he gets up, kind of gives a little bit of a nudge to Chaffee, and Chaffee kind of beaked at him on the way back to the huddle. And you just wonder if that was stuck in Chaffee's mind as he kind of thought, let me get the last word in on this argument. And that one may be costing him when the league's discipline notes come out next week.
Noel Thorpe chatting with them.
Yeah, just getting them calmed down.
Did cost them 3, could have been worse. But I think the narrative at halftime has changed even in the studio, because this was a very one-sided football game heading to the half. The exception of the last 2 minutes. Now it's Hamilton 25, Ottawa 14. Let's send it back to Rod Smith, Matt Dunnigan, Jim Barker, and Davis Sanchez in our studio on Friday Night Football.
Thank you, Rod. Yeah, the narrative changed a little bit, but there's still some things we're going to talk about. Hamilton, the late field goal, but Ottawa, Matty, a little too dependent on field goals lately. So how big was it for them to finally get in the end zone?
Huge, Rod. The first game of these two teams played, 7. Then you got Ward going off. Congratulations, tip of the hat to that young man for getting it done. New pro football record, outstanding. But what we saw early on from the Ottawa Redblacks offensively is not this time of year football. It is preseason type of football they played in the first 28 minutes of this ball game. Second and 2. You're going to Brandon Galander's running a 10-yard out, covered like a blanket, got to throw it too high. Getting dominated at the line of scrimmage by the defensive line of Hamilton there, and then pressure here forces a horrendous throw by the quarterback. And then Dominic Davis on 3rd and half a yard takes a time count violation. Rick Campbell can't figure it out. They looked to running a trickery there, and they had to punt the football. Next thing you know, Hamilton's got the ball at the 50-yard line because they punt the ball out of bounds. That's not good. 28 minutes of football. Last 2 minutes, give them credit. They got a good return and had field position and punched it in the end zone. But, geez, this is not good football for the Redblacks.
Maybe they're trying to geniusize it, but Hamilton is playing classic CFL offensive football.
Simple.
Their first score, they use quad set to get Tasker hooked up with a linebacker, Devin Butler, a rookie, and he's just turned around. He has no idea what he's doing because he's a linebacker. Then they run the run-pass option. Now, this is a really interesting concept. This is all on Mazzoli. The line will block a running play, the tackle trap. You'll see if he hands the ball to Green, he probably runs. But there are 8 players in the box, so he pulls it out. They now have a touchdown. That's classic. I learned that from Don Matthews, my first year in the league, that run-pass option. Took it to the XFL. Now everybody's talking about the RPO. Dunnigan used to do it.
That's a long time ago. That's simple offense.
Yeah. The receivers are playing great too, Davis.
No, they are. And those two guys, you saw at the end, Chaffee getting physical with Banks and Tasker. Little guys, those guys compete. They're competitors, so they're not going to back down.
They frustrate you.
They do. But they're
also.
also.
Penalty cost them 3 points.
It did. Those two are also route runners. And they're separators. And you look at what they're doing. If you give those guys space to work, Minnesota's going to have 3 touchdowns. And you look at this right here. This was a throw to Banks where he dropped it, but watch the separation. If you try to mimic the steps out of a break with Brandon Banks, it's not going to happen. Watch this. Banks takes about 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's 6 steps away from the halfback. You cannot mimic the steps out of a break with Brandon Banks. He's too quick. Tasker, same thing. These guys coming out of breaks, you're in the end zone right there. If you back up off the end zone, we used to say you're on a cliff in the end zone. If you back up, you've fallen off the cliff.
They're falling off a lot.
You got 2 ways to stop those 2 guys, or at least try, because it's sure not easy. Either get your hands on them and try to disrupt them, or anticipate the route and guess. Don't try to mimic their steps out of a break, because you're not stopping those 2 guys.
But simple concepts make touchdowns look so easy, Matt. Yet Ottawa, even their touchdown didn't seem like it was a touchdown.
I ran that offense, and you like guys to see it the way quarterbacks do, and you give them options, use their speed. They see it like a quarterback, balls out, and good things happen. It's not that hard. Always playing numbers offensively, and Jeremiah Mazzoli did it really well in the first half.
Very good. By the way, full credit to you for introducing the word geniusize. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, when we come back, we're going to talk about another Huge game coming up later tonight, the Lions and the Eskimos.
Barker cheats and Scrabble.
Friday Night Football. Let's go.
To try and break the all-time record. This is the can't miss kid does it again. Speedy B, look out now down the sideline. Touchdown.
The West gets even tighter.
A confidence boost for the Eskimos, and now it's up to the Lions to answer.
BC still very much in this heavyweight fight.
The Lions and Eskimos will determine a huge piece of the playoff puzzle. The Eskimos are just 2-6 on the road, but need a win in BC to control their fate.
Mike Riley, a much different feeling here as they get back to 500.
The Lions will clinch a playoff spot with a win. They're 5-1 in their last 6 and still have a game in hand on Edmonton.
Terrell Sutton. This is what he came for. West Division playoff football.
BC visits Saskatchewan next week before hosting Calgary November 3rd. The Eskimos have a bye next week. They will face the Bombers to close it out.
As explained by Corey Warren, setting up Part 2 of the doubleheader tonight, and a huge one in the battle for the 4th and final playoff spot in the West with the Eskimos against the Lions at BC Place. Chezzy, last week they both won huge games, and it just keeps getting bigger for both of them tonight.
Yeah, this is huge. And the BC Lions, they want to be a physical, tough football team. I mean, Uncle Wally's a tough guy. Ed Hervey's a tough guy. And now the fact that they got Terrell Sutton, that's a huge difference for this team, because now I think that whole room believes they're tough. I mean, even Jeff Reinbold's tough when he takes off the puka shells. This is a group that wants to be physical and tough.
There. No disrespect to Reinbold.
That's not disrespect. I love Jeff Reinbold, but this is a physical bunch. We'll see tonight.
Yeah, and this time of year, it's decided in the trenches. And the Edmonton Eskimos, they got their trench worked out last week.
Yeah, they did.
It makes them a very dangerous football team. BC Lions are dangerous when Sean Lemon,
I got you, brother,
Claudell Lewis, and Davon Coleman and Odell Willis get after the quarterback.
Yeah.
That's where they establish their toughness you're talking about, and then it permeates throughout the rest of the football club. Whoever wins the trench battle is going to win this football game.
But I agree with what you said last week. When they got Drahan back in their lineup, put him at left tackle, and then they could move O'Donnell back in at guard, they become that big physical offensive line again. That's what they're going to need against the BC Lions, because I completely agree with you, Davis. This is absolutely going to be a physical war inside. This is what you want to see at 10 o'clock on the East Coast.
It's also going to be a war outside, because they got Duke, I'm like that. Williams out wide, too.
We call this a slobber knocker.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to this later. If BC wins, they clinch a playoff spot. And then Edmonton would need Calgary, their old friends, to help out against Winnipeg next week. If the Eskimos win, don't even ask. It's too complicated. We're at the half, and it's the Ticats leading the REDBLACKS.
9.
The halftime numbers, Jeremiah Mazzoli keeps clicking with his top 2 receivers, especially. He's thrown for 221, 76 of those yards, or 78 to Brandon Banks. Luke Tasker, 41 yards and 2 touchdowns. Here he is with Matthew.
Luke, where is the confidence of this offense right now? Because every time Jeremiah has his hand on the ball, you guys are pushing downfield.
Yeah, we just a few plays that kept 1 or 2 more drives going. It would have made a big difference. We got to come out and eat up the clock and push the ball down the field. You have some long drives to start third quarter.
You just saw how physical this defense can be, so what do you have to do to keep this momentum going in the second half?
Yeah, first down efficiency, man. We can't be in second and long, and we got to get down there and and score one way or another. Field goal, touchdowns, whatever.
Thanks, Luke.
All right, thanks.
Congrats again to REDBLACKS kicker Lewis Ward, a 52-yarder for the record, by the way, to Pro Football record. Passing Adam Vinatieri there, 45 straight, as REDBLACKS trailing 25-14.
This program may contain coarse language that could offend some viewers. Discretion is advised.
Friday Night Football.
It's Friday Night Football. Yeah. Boys are all here gonna put on a show.
back in the capital tonight, and this mid-October night, playoffs looming. Luke Tasker has a pair of touchdowns for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Lewis Ward has a pair of field goals, record-breaking field goals for the Ottawa REDBLACKS in a sensational season. Little Lewis is with Matthew Shinetti.
Well, Lewis, I just had the pleasure of meeting your lovely parents, and after speaking to your father, John, and how composed he is, I think I'm getting a sense of why you're always even-keeled. You just broke a professional football record. I guess it's just on to the next one.
Absolutely. You know, we got a football game to win, and you know, we'll talk about it after, but right now we got to win this football game.
In terms of the wind right now, it is gusting quite a bit. Give us a sense of what your range is right now going into the wind.
Going into the wind, you know, we can hit it at that high 40s, you know, depending on the gusts. We could probably get to that 50, 51 range, but you know, it is windy out here, but we just got to hit it well.
Thanks, Lewis.
No problem. Thank you.
Might come down to a big field goal tonight again. Hamilton deferred, so they will get the wind in the final quarter. This wind is not dying down tonight, by the way, Dwayne. And now Ottawa will have the wind and needs to make some hay and get back in this game.
Here we go. Yo-yo, gold left
tight.
We got Zebra Stone, X-Cali, Z-Slide, wide bang on one ready.
Haven't had the raindrops yet, though. That's a good thing.
Fingers crossed, but you got to anticipate Ottawa, frequently a no-huddle team. With the wind in this third quarter, they're going to try and run as many offensive plays as they possibly can.
They seem to be a better team when they go faster as well. Stretching it out here for Ellingson, and Greg Ellingson. A sideline that will be forever known for a touchdown back in 2015 the other way. 19-yard gain, a big one out of the chute for Trevor Harris and Ellingson.
Yeah, watch for Ellingson to move across the formation here, which makes it tough in coverage. If you saw Carriel Brooks, number 26, he had to fight in, pull around under all sorts of traffic to try and catch up to Ellingson. Got a nice block from Deontay Spencer on the outside that time as well.
Ted Laurent with the bear hug on William Powell. They've done a nice job stymieing the REDBLACKS running game so far here tonight.
Well, and that goes a long way towards limiting the Ottawa offense.
Haas. Hey, Kentucky Derby, reload. Kentucky Derby, reload. Aggie, reload. Haas, reload. Yeah, reload.
See what the Kentucky Derby brings us here.
Wednesday,
We'll reset. Quads to his right. Looks over the middle. Going over the middle and had Ellingson open and had R.J. Harris. Had he seen Ellingson, I'm not sure he saw him. Ellingson was wide open.
Yes, yes, 100%.
Yeah,
yes,
Ellingson
100%.
is right down the middle of the field
yes,
and breaks
100%.
left towards the corner.
100%. Yes.
So there is a challenge in the 100% Harris was talking about was whether they should challenge. So they are going to challenge.
I think our 84 was PI'd and we threw the ball
interference on R.J. Harris.
Ottawa is challenging the ruling on the field. They believe there was defensive pass interference on their number 84. The play will be reviewed.
Well, that ball was seriously overthrown. We'll see what the call is when we come back to TD Place Stadium at Lansdowne Park in Ottawa.
After review, there is defensive pass interference on Hamilton number 4. The ball will be placed on the 45-yard line. Automatic first down for Ottawa.
Well, a good challenge by Rick Campbell, who's won more challenges than any coach in the CFL. Now 7 for 11 this season, and this is a key one here.
Yeah, you'll see Richard Leonard in coverage right down the hash. R.J. Harris tries to make a break inside. Leonard impedes him. Ball is coming to him, which turns illegal contact into pass interference and gives the REDBLACKS a big chunky yardage.
Scatter!
1st and 10 from the Hamilton 45 instead of punting.
Hurry, hurry, son!
Swinging it out of the backfield and shot down. Delvin Breaux takes down Brendan Galanders.
And Breaux comes up limping after that one.
Surprised that Breaux took the worst of this. Let's take a look.
Yeah, a little bit of a lookout pass here. Scalanders
Delv, you all right?
gets his head around at the last minute. Not sure exactly the source of the injury.
Galander's another University of Ottawa product. GG heavy red-black team.
Yeah, former Toronto Argonaut.
He got him with his shoulder, but gets up very quickly, then went down and he's limping to the sideline. May have tweaked his leg.
Yeah, well, that'll be one to keep an eye on for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. This is one of the elite defenders in the Canadian Football League.
Doesn't get challenged very often. They don't go to Delvenboro Island. Former NFLer.
Well, Josh Johnson, the former Red Black, is on in his place at the boundary corner.
2nd and 8. Harris with time, has his man, and it is Sinopoli down to the red zone, and Brad Sinopoli continues to accumulate catch after catch in his record-breaking season for a Canadian. 26-yard pickup.
Keep an eye on Sinopoli, inside man, in that trips formation. Nicely run route, gave a look as if he was going to continue to the wide side of the field.
Play did not even get started. William Powell wasn't surprised one bit. Hamilton Tiger Cats. Ted Laurent in the backfield. 2nd, like 14, make it 13 yards on that loss.
Well, big number 97 is making his presence felt on that Hamilton defensive line.
Here we go, Kings right, near Zion. Here we go, 65, show 65, W bump ghost. Hey, we got Beaver X flat.
Drive to the end zone, or will it be another Lewis Ward field goal? They love the streak, but they need touchdowns.
Hurry, hurry, son.
That rush again. Harris pumps it down near the goal line. No signal. They're saying 1-yard line for Brad Sinopoli. Ottawa GG quarterback turned receiver in the Canadian Football League. And he has another one. He was down and likely touched there. He kept rolling and rolling.
Yeah, we'll get a better look here right down the line as to there he's touched. The ball is not across the line.
Might be in the end zone shortly, though, as Dominic Davis, who's already scored once tonight, behind center, calls his own number, and not this time.
Nope. No, sir. No, sir.
Davis, who struggled, remember, on that initial touchdown and just barely got in, and also had a 3rd down play that ended up in a time count violation. One thing the Cats do is they load this box up. They're used to stuffing quarterbacks.
Ted Laurent, again, such a force in the middle of that Ticat defense. Very little movement for Ottawa at the point of attack. And that's the guy they're trying to move.
Will they try something different this time? No, it'll be Davis again. And he goes head first, diving in. Still no signal. No signal, penalty though.
Yeah, flags down on either side, often suggesting offside.
May have lined up offside. Davis arguing for the touchdown, but it's offside anyway.
Hamilton, number 25. The ball will remain on the 1-yard line, and it will be 1st down.
Well, you can see the defender Jamal roll just by that camera angle.
Love Dominic Davis there. He's arguing, then he got it, and they said, oh, it's offside. He said, okay. Fireworks guy, a little premature.
Report.
So they get another reboot, reset this up, 1st and goal.
Jack's left.
Pretty predictable play so far. Do it again, line it up. Spread it out a little more this time. Davis once more, 10th play, and touchdown. Man, that's a lot of hard work for Dominic Davis. Finally punches it in. 2 touchdowns tonight for number 4. And again, they'll line up for 2 here to make this a 3-point game.
Yeah. So carrying that momentum with which they finished the first half offensively.
Again, he just barely made it in. Lunging finally.
Really with that, it was that reach right at the end. I mean, Davis is down on the ground with his body completely outside of the end zone.
God damn.
Now the Red Blacks love the deuce. Going after it again here. $14 of 19 on the season.
Tuesday! Hurry, son!
We'll give it off to R.J. Harris. Great deception at the line of scrimmage, and everybody fooled. And R.J. Harris has the 2-point convert, and folks, we've got a 3-point game.
Terrific bit of play calling there to finish that drive off. They ran it last time for the 2-point convert. Give the same look here before they pass it in on play action. The Red Blacks touchdown, 2-point convert, and we got ourselves a 3-point ball game.
Well, a big drive for the Ottawa Red Blacks out of the locker room. Dominic Davis scores his 2nd touchdown, aided by a great challenge flag by Rick Campbell. Huge there. Otherwise, they would have been punting the football. Instead, they score, and we have got a 3-point ball game now.
And Rick Campbell having faith in his quarterback, Trevor Harris, who sold him on that challenge.
100%. Look out now, Frankie Williams was one player away from going the distance. He gives Jeremiah Masoli a starting point at their 40-yard line. Williams behind some blocks here, and watch the gap. He might have been gone.
Just clipped on that left leg.
Son, ready?
Jeremiah Masoli looking to answer again. The wind playing a role here tonight. Masoli, though, has scored 2 touchdowns against the wind. Delayed draw that time. Alex Green has half the first down yardage. So the wind hasn't bothered the Cats, but they will have the wind, and it's a close ball game. It could come down to a couple of toes here tonight.
And a couple pretty good toes going toe-to-toe this evening, and Liram Hairolahu and Lewis Ward.
Hamilton will have the benefit of that
Navy, X-pivot.
Wind that is still howling in the 4th. Great crowd as always here in the nation's capital. They push the decibel level again. 4-man rush for Ottawa. Masoli standing in, lets it fly, and it's caught. Another big play from the Big Play Cats, and it's Brandon Banks, who has now recorded his 10th 100-yard game of the season.
Gotta go get it.
You heard Davis Sanchez at halftime talk about Brandon Banks and his ability to separate from defenders. That one again into the wind. The throw hangs up there a little bit. That separation proves key in terms of creating time and space to be able to make that catch before the defender can close.
Masoli with protection. Incomplete. Now it's up to Noel Thorpe, Rick Campbell, and the Ottawa Red Blacks D.
I gotta get it.
A reminder, Brandon Banks, not just a deep threat, but the guy who leads the way in the Canadian Football League in terms of second down catches.
Might see him here. Look for Tasker as well. Masoli looking one way. Now looks down to the 10, and Tasker can't hang on. Good coverage near the 10-yard line. And it will bring out Lirim Hajrullahu. So the Red Blacks bend, don't break. And a field goal attempt upcoming midway through the third quarter.
And this is a terrific defensive play by Corey Tindall, who is in coverage on Luke Tasker on the play. As he makes contact, he makes sure that Tasker can't get the arms around to squeeze that football. Well-timed break, well-executed break up.
32, but it's more like about 42. Look at that ball flutter through the wind. Hajrullahu hits. Make it a 6-point ball game. A lot of points on the board here tonight. Two teams battling for first in the East in Ottawa on Friday Night Football. Despite their slump, the recipe stays the same, says Rick Campbell. With more, here's Matthew Shinetti.
Much of that recipe, Rod, is Campbell's one-to-one approach. We heard him talk yesterday, and we spoke to him before the game, about how much he loves talking to players one-on-one. Through the years that as I have covered the Red Blacks, the one thing that Rick Campbell does is he engages his guys constantly. Take, for example, what happened after they came out of the locker room. Rick Campbell was talking to many of his players, making absolutely sure they were focused. The one thing he said to us yesterday, on top of enjoying that part of coaching, he also likes to go ahead and keep it nice and light. And watching him with the guys coming out of the locker room, there was smiles, there was pats on the back, there were words of encouragement.
At the 45-yard line and a first down for Ottawa.
Ottawa will get this at the 45-yard line. You saw that pooch kick. Well, Rick Campbell comes by it honestly. His dad is a legend, Hugh Campbell, Hall of Famer in the game. Rick on his way potentially to a Hall of Fame as well, the way he's going.
It don't matter. This is fine.
Everybody you speak to around this organization, players to coaches, to security guards to whoever.
We got 64 R bump, drag, wide, hairy, post, X, diagonal, S burst on one ready.
He has certainly earned the success that he has had. You know, there are some raised eyebrows when Rick Campbell was hired as the head coach of this team. Bit of a under-the-radar candidate in many ways. Goes along with that low-key personality.
Harris threads the needle, dialing in Sinopoli again. A risky toss. Don Unumba was in the vicinity. And another first down, and suddenly this Ottawa offense has come alive.
Unumba was there. Mike Daly was there as well, converging. Both on Sinopoli, but terrific concentration. Makes the grab to move into Hamilton territory.
Handed off to William Powell, read option. William Powell wasn't used in that last series. It's on the sideline for Brendan Galanders. Let's take another look at Brad Sinopoli adding to his total here. League leading this season.
Here we go, 65, 65. Bump, 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 burst.
6 catches for Sinopoli, 107
Wednesday
on the season.
Hurry,
Harris again, another quick one. Oh, what a catch there by R.J. Harris, who just did the Ottawa limbo. Layback for a big game. And here comes Jennifer Lopez.
Well, terrific body control and adjusting to make that catch. Gets the hand down to keep his balance. Pick up a couple extra yards. Nice effort from number 84.
Play called J-Lo on the roll. And caught! Ellingson on the Lopez. First and goal for the Red Blacks, who have suddenly found a spark here in this second half.
Surging with an opportunity to take the lead. We said they got to make the most of it while they got the win.
Diagonal.
This offense has bought in.
Wheel. Go for wheel.
5 minutes to go with the wind in the third quarter. Chance to take the lead. Trevor. Wobbler. Touchdown. What a catch. Deontay Spencer. You did not do that. That was an ugly duck of a toss. But it was a beautiful swan of a catch.
Yeah, beautiful ending. Spencer twisting, turning, securing the football. What a great effort to keep that ball off the turf from Deontay Spencer.
So we're tied. Normally the Red Blacks go for 2. Instead, with the win, Lewis Ward comes out from the 32-yard line for the 1-point convert. He's missed 1 this season. Only 2 kicks missed this season. 1 on a convert, 1 on a field goal in his first game. Again, with that incredible streak of field goals, the point after, and Lewis Ward gives the Red Blacks the lead. Ottawa trailed by 16. They fought, they scraped, they caught, they scored. They're up by 1 on Friday Night Football. Well, Deontay Spencer has his 5th touchdown, the one that puts the Ottawa Redblacks, thanks to the 1-point convert, ahead. Trevor Harris used everybody.
Well, he sure did, and everybody made nice plays. R.J. Harris with that twisting, turning catch. That came after Sinopoli. Showed the great concentration on his effort. Ellingson goes to the turf. And Deontay Spencer with the acrobatic grab in the end zone for the touchdown and the lead for the Ottawa Redblacks.
4 different receivers on that drive, and whatever was said at halftime certainly worked out for the Ottawa Redblacks. This is a team that got off to an awful start in this ball game.
Yeah, and really the resurgence kind of came on their last offensive possession before the break, but doing a great job with the wind here in the second half, in the third quarter, to continue that and make the most of the wind as they had to do trailing in the ballgame.
Frankie Williams brings it up near the 30-yard line. Well, we're excited on TSN, and I'm sure in Canadian football, to learn of this. And I know you are, 40. CanadaFootballChat.com presents the Prospect Game next June right here at TD Place Stadium in Ottawa. We're joined by the president and founder of Canada Football Chat, Lee Barrett, Mr. Football, as we like to call him. How exciting is this? What kind of a game are we expecting?
Oh, it's going to be a prospect game, so you're looking for kids that are born in 2002 or later that are on track to qualify as a national in the CFL. So kids from coast to coast, they might be in the United States now playing, so it's open. That's mostly in most school districts of grade 11.
Jeremiah Masoli back at it here. Puts it into the gut of Alex Green. Dwayne, you follow this stuff all the time. You know all the kids basically when they're out of the womb, whether they're going to be good football players or not. How beneficial is this to Canadian football?
Well, this is fantastic. I mean, Lee and I obviously talk about this sort of stuff on a regular basis. So many great players in this country, but the fact is so often those guys are spread out. So it's a great opportunity to get the best players in their draft class, in their recruiting class, if you will, in the same place competing against one another.
Never really had something like this before. There have been showcases in other games and all-star teams, etc. We know about that World Junior Championship. What is the difference that this game's going to make, Lee?
Well, I think because of the promotional get from being on TSN and people wanting to play in a CFL stadium on television. The television's the big thing. It's never been done, and you know TSN is the football network, so that's why we're so happy to be partners with the TSN.
So between you and Dwayne, who are some of these future stars that we can anticipate looking at next year?
I'm going to let Lee kick it off. I know he's got the full list. I've been on Canada Football Chat doing my advanced scouting, by the way. I'm still working on that class of 2019, though, a great recruiting class. But This is really class of 2020 kids that'll play in this game.
That's right. And with born in 2002, if they reclassify and stuff, so with not knowing their birth certificate, but I think I'll start right here in Ottawa with Christian Veo, who's a star quarterback who's already got some big-time offers, Michigan being one of them. If you go to the East Coast, we got a kid named Logan Taylor, who's 6'7", 290 pounds, and he's only in grade 11. So it's there's lots of prospects out there. There's Brendan Barrow, who's a great running back. Aju from the Edmonton area, and Javon Blake are the ones that really pop out for me right now. He's out of Kelowna.
Luke Tasker with the catch. There's a guy like Brad Sinopoli a few years ago, Canadian quarterback turned receiver, becomes star of the game. I think maybe one of the disconnects that an average football fan in Canada has is that they don't hear about players until they get to the CFL. Yep. What a great opportunity to start to learn about players, particularly in the high school ranks.
Yeah, and that's where we start. Brad Sinopoli out of Peterborough Crestwood. And, you know, so we track them all the way through. And this is our first time that we had kids drafted in the CFL that we had ranked. 20 of the 25 class of 214 kids, 20 were ranked in our CFC 100 ranking.
Key third down here, 3rd and inches. And the Cats will get that.
Well, it seems fittingly that this game would be held, the inaugural game here in Ottawa, when you consider some of the great kids out of Ottawa over recent years. It seems like almost annually the top high school kids. You look at Elianku, now an NFL player who played at UCLA. Of course, Michael O'Connor, UBC quarterback. Guys like Jesse Lucada, Jonathan Sutherland, Luigi Villain. So many guys have come out of this area, have been top guys.
Jeremiah Masoli. Cats suddenly down 1, delayed drop. Okay, so I want to ask the gurus. You guys know everything about who's going to be the next guy. Where the hell were you guys on Lewis Ward?
We don't rank kickers.
Oh, well, everybody's ranking this guy now. What an incredible streak. 45 in a row. 2nd down and 8. Masoli pump and go. And again lays it in for Brandon Banks. So this game next year, fully televised. Be part of the Red Blacks game apparently as well, and we'll have the game on TSN. How excited do you think some of these kids are going to be to get a first chance to be live on TV too?
Well, it's a tremendous opportunity. Their older buddies are going to be jealous, that's for sure. So if they really, if kids got to go to CanadaFootballChat.com, find out more information. You can nominate a buddy. Just go on our site and you can nominate.
I was going to ask you about the selection process. We'll get to that in just a second. Again to Alex Green. So how will you choose these teams?
Yeah. It's easy to know the top 5 or 10 kids. It's player 10 through 70, which we'll have the challenge. So we'll have some open showcases early in the new year in January. And then we're going to have some invite-only tryouts in March. And we're going to select the team from that rigorous process. So we're going to go coast to coast and just try to find the best players in Canada.
Is it an East-West format? Have you talked about format yet? You still working on that?
I haven't gotten the format. We're just trying to find the 70 best players.
Maybe we'll have a draft, Team Ford versus Team Black. Hey?
Oh, hey. I was going to say Team Barron. Here we go. 2nd and 6. Another first. Oh, fumble football.
Out of bounds before it was touched. I'm not sure he ever actually had control of this one to be ruled a completion.
There was no whistle until that ball went out of bounds.
Yeah, and part of that is the way the game is officiated, is they're going to let that play out just in case it is ruled a fumble via replay.
This might be buzzed in from above. It is incomplete. They have the eye in the sky, the ability, and Andre Proulx making the call.
Ruling in the field was a completed pass, and the ball was last touched before going out of bounds by Hamilton. Right here, it's going to be 3rd down, Hamilton.
Safe. It will be 3rd down. They didn't get the first down. Banks looked like he got it initially and then was pushed back. But again, what this does, if it was incomplete, it would have been 3rd down anyway.
A terrific defensive play from Rico Murray to come up with the strip.
And they weren't going to kick anyways into this win.
Let's go, D.
This is a long, long kick, so they're going to punt it away. Zeram Harilahu. Flag flies.
Legal procedure. Hamilton, number 93. This is a 5-yard penalty. We're going to repeat 3rd down.
To use the clock.
So June Jones telling Harilahu to use that play clock and game clock here, because
don't give Ottawa a chance to run offensive plays with the wind.
Talked about this wind all night. May play out in the 4th quarter. Most important play of the game might have been that coin toss that Hamilton won. Havalahu brings it down to the final play of this third quarter. Monte Spencer is down. Penalty flag. Quarter can't end on a penalty. And all that 15 yards. So Lee, such an exciting time, I'm sure, for you, for Canada Football Chat, for Canadian football and young players coast to coast to coast.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. A lot of work ahead.
A lot of work ahead. Can't wait till next year. And I know a lot of kids across our country are chomping at the bit and excited about that. The prospect game that will take place here at TD Place Stadium.
On the last play, we had a major foul, unnecessary roughness. Hamilton, number 30. A 15-yard penalty will be enforced in the third quarter. One more play. First down, Ottawa.
15 yards, a big boost. Plus one more play with the win, so a costly penalty taken there by Jay Langa.
They better ask the cheerleaders to clear the field here. I think everybody thinks that.
Correction. The foul occurred after the play. There is no option to extend the quarter.
So it was after the quarter, so they'll move it in the fourth. Hamilton has the wind. Ottawa against it, but Ottawa has a lead. Lee Barrett, thank you. Look forward to that prospect game next year. Looking forward to the fourth quarter here tonight in Ottawa. Red Blacks lead the Hamilton Tiger Cats 29-28 in the showdown for top spot of the East.
This program may contain coarse language that could offend some viewers. Discretion is advised.
Well, the marquee said the battle for first in the East. We anticipated some drama, but we might have it suddenly a thriller here at TD Place Stadium. We're getting used to this stuff. Ever since Ottawa came back to the Canadian Football League, we've seen some pretty special stuff happen in this stadium, haven't we?
Well, we certainly have, and a lot of it taking place between these two football teams. So very fitting that, you know, we get a little bit of playoff football.
Jeremiah Masoli yesterday told us that it still stings back in 2015 when the Hamilton Tiger Cats were denied a trip to the Grey Cup by the Ottawa Red Blacks. It was kind of Jeremiah Masoli's, I won't say his breakout yet, but it was his first real playoff play for the Cats. Trevor Harris now extends this play and decides to scamper out of the pocket, avoids the sack, and then player goes right over the signage. Simone Lawrence jumps back into play.
Course tango our stretch.
Of course, Larry Dean over to rescue him.
Hey!
Those two never stray far from one another.
Stretch, over switch.
They've got a partner now.
Over switch.
Don Unamba as well. What a trio that linebacking group has become.
What do we got for pro? Good pro.
Second and 7. What do we got for pro? Protection.
Tuesday!
That's what Harris was talking about. Sends out 6 receivers, and down he goes, and not such good protection as Ted Laurent has the sack. Just bullies his way, taking down Trevor Harris.
Well, as we start talking about potential Nissan Titan players of the game, we certainly can't overlook the work done by Ted Laurent tonight.
He has been a beast.
Again, a couple starters missing from that defensive line. Adrian Tracy and Jason Neal have been out the last few weeks. Laurent picking up his game in their absence.
Red Blacks drive stalls. Gets this Gale. Leone, pretty good check, but it's out of bounds. And a flag down, went between the 40s in the air.
Found a lower price on tires? We'll match it, guaranteed.
Anytime the ball flies out between the 20-yard lines, they add yardage on. Good kick by Leone, but just out.
Trips right. 90 mesh choice, X and Z Hank, son, ready?
Trevor Harris go off talking about his middle finger. And nicked up on that last play. And an update.
Here we go.
Masoli down one with the wind. Early fourth. First place up for grabs in the East. Completed pass on the far side up into Ottawa territory. Justin Buren with his second catch of the night.
Well, quick hitter here.
Trade right.
Three-step
Trade
drop
right,
from
35
Masoli, and the ball is out.
Radford's son, ready?
Watching the growth of Jeremiah Masoli through the years. He has become a cool customer in the fourth quarter. So much poise. Play action again. They give it to Alex Green. Fake by Masoli. Results in about a 4-yard pickup.
And I would say Masoli's represents
green gas roll.
pretty classic path in terms of the development and growth of a quarterback in the Canadian Football League. So many guys, with great U.S. college resumes come up, and I think the issue for a lot of them is that they don't necessarily have the patience to kind of wait their turn, to put in their time, develop.
Second down again, an out pattern. Oh, and a great snag, and dropped. And dropped by Brandon Banks, who has been dropped on the sideline and looks like he's hurt. And this does not look good. As Brandon Banks went down in a heap. The Ottawa sideline. Looked like he had this ball.
Yeah, nice catch laid out. Came down hard, though.
On that shoulder.
Watch the left shoulder on the landing here.
And
all of his weight from being airborne.
Also had Rico Murray on top of him, 40. Team that's already been riddled with injury woes to its receiving core, and that is not looking good right now. We'll try to get an update on Brandon Banks, already without Jalen Saunders, Terrence Tolliver, Chris Williams.
Yeah, those guys all on the 6th game. Now they do have Terrell Sinkfield awaiting deployment.
Scratched again tonight. He was on the roster.
What do you got?
What do we got?
But it can't be overlooked. I mean, Sinkfield has spent his last couple of years in the National Football League, and this most recent stint primarily as a defensive back. So he's kind of getting his receiver mojo back as well.
To match his career-long 53, Hairolahu will put it through. Great kick.
7 for 7 from 50 plus this season.
Unbelievable. Cats jump in front. But that's the bad news right there.
Welcome back to TD Place. The Hamilton Tiger Cats lead 31-29, but two game-changing injuries right now that we're taking a look at. In their last offensive series, it looked like Trevor Harris, when he had that play and Teleron sacked him, looked like he injured it between his middle finger and index finger on his right hand. He was then trying to warm it up and feel it out on the sidelines alongside backup quarterback Dominic Davis, who was also warming up. Some grimacing from Harris, who is back out there trying to lead the Red Blacks offense. As for Brandon Banks, he did just walk into Hamilton's locker room. They were taking a look at that that collarbone area around the shoulder on the left side, excuse me.
Bad,
and it does not look very good for Brandon Banks, who is in obvious pain. Rod?
Well, again, this time of the year, so much on the line.
365
the last
max.
thing you want.
365 max. Hey, we got Blue Jay, Blue Jay, Blue Jay.
There's another injury.
Hey, Field Lion, Field Lion.
That could be a devastating one if Brandon Banks loses significant time.
Tuesday, Tuesday.
RJ Harris in motion here. Harris goes the other way. Quick hitter for a first down. What a security belt 88 has become, huh?
So dependable, so consistent.
Yo-yo, gold right, tight.
Guy who's been a perfect fit here in Ottawa.
Yo-yo, gold right, tight, gold right. Here we go, zebra, zebra,
108
zebra.
now, the
right,
record
tight.
for a national receiver.
Hey.
Ben Cahoon, 112 on his season.
Brick. Hey, we got ground.
Sinopoli will be
Tuesday, Zebra. Hurry,
soon,
son.
maybe even tonight, if it's going. Running right into a scrum. Tackle for a loss here. That's Sinopoli. Standing Canadian in the CFL already. A Heck Crichton winner, has done so much.
Here we go, 7:53.
Marching his way into history already.
Quail.
All-time
Hey, Bandito.
Ottawa.
Flat, yeah.
Could be all-time Canadian. Again, the record is 112.
Hurry, son.
Harris with a deep drop and a deep shot for Ellingson, and he overthrew him against the wind. It sets up third down. Harris, you could hear his exclamation.
Ellingson's got a step as he heads down the pipe. Trevor Harris would like to have that one back. Again, hard to gauge what to put on those throws with this wind.
Oh, and the Ottawa REDBLACKS will catch a break and they'll get the ball back. Richie Leone just went.
Roughing the kicker.
Heels overhead.
Hamilton, number 31. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty with an automatic first down.
Sean Thomas Erlington got too close. It'll be a first down for the REDBLACKS.
You'll see Leone still leg in the air. Thomas Erlington came so close to blocking that football. Taking down the kicker without touching the ball. It's going to prove costly right here.
Maybe even a Christmas gift here for the REDBLACKS. First and 10 from the 46. Harris again. Ellingson with a flag on the play. Some contact on the receiver.
Illegal contact on receiver. Hamilton, number 25. A 10-yard penalty will result in a first down for Ottawa.
Catch is negated, but it's an automatic first.
Here we go, Alcatraz. Alcatraz, 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 Alcatraz. Yes. Go ahead, Will.
So the Alcatraz play coming up.
Tuesday!
Is the penalty.
Hurry, son!
Harris. Out pattern, far side, R.J. Harris, big catch. Another flag down. This was in the pocket. And will this come back?
After the play. From the end of the play. Still first down. Still first down.
After the play was over, major foul, unnecessary roughness, Ottawa number 55. From the end of the play, we're going to go back 15 yards and a first down for Ottawa.
So they keep the catch 15 yards back. Sir Vincent Rogers, the veteran left tackle.
Hey, listen up. Come here. Here we go, R fly. Here we go, R fly to west left. We've got Pirate Stallion, Z key on one ready. Let's go, Willie.
Still a net of 11 yards, though. First and 10 from the Hamilton 25. REDBLACKS down 2.
Hurry, son.
William Powell hasn't seen a lot of touches after that initial quarter.
Yeah, the Hamilton defense has done a pretty good job keeping Powell in check, and you know, for a lot of the game, it had an impact on Ottawa offensively.
Tango. Hey, Sale Robin.
There is Jerry Glanville.
No.
You know,
an NFL coach and legend.
It hasn't just been a matter of taking Powell away as an option, but also it has taken away some of the play action that's a big part of what Ottawa does successfully.
Powell, 6 carries, 2 yards in the second half. Harris looks one way, running out of time and receivers, and then is that caught by Harris? The officials are looking at it and saying incomplete. Harris says yes. Rick Campbell has no challenge flags left.
Ruling on the field is a completed pass for Ottawa
They
with
are
a first
saying
down.
it's completed now. Initially, they waved it off. Yeah,
He
RJ Harris
definitely
caught
kept
that.
his hands under that.
And a good call. Initially waved off.
Bang, I'm on ready.
Well, RJ Harris has really grown into his role in this receiving corps.
Has he ever?
Saturday!
There they go in the red zone. Chance to get the lead again. Looking end zone. And Harris spun down. And a penalty flag as the ball was out. And it might be roughing the passer, or was it a hold at the last minute? Simone Lawrence ended up on top of Trevor Harris.
Yeah, I think this could be illegal grounding.
Ottawa number 7. It's going to be a loss of down from where the ball was thrown. Second down.
So a loss of down.
Yeah, Harris is trying to protect the field position here, but with no receiver nearby, no ability to get it across the line of scrimmage. That's a decision he would like to have another crack at.
Tight, fib. W stack, 765.
Simone Lawrence looking for a big play.
What?
They don't get the first down here. There's no first down. It's second and goal.
75 Delta.
They don't get the touchdown. We might see Lewis Ward again.
Spread right. Delta Aggie.
Try to make it 46 in a row.
Tuesday. Hurry,
16 yards for Paydirt. Harris, back shoulder, penalty flag, incomplete. And if that's interference, it's interference in goal, which would put the ball down to the 1.
Defensive pass interference. Hamilton number 25. The foul occurred in goal. The ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. Automatic first down for Ottawa.
And watch the right-hander roll there, pulling on Ellingson. Ellingson nearly came up with the circus catch with his left arm free.
So immediate first and goal.
I'm just going to point out on this drive, the Hamilton defense had to stop. A roughing the kicker penalty extended this drive, and Ottawa marching the ball down the field has eaten up Hamilton's time with the wind here as well.
Eating up their time. They might be running out of gas. The ball's going to go back to Masoli. Dominic Davis, hat trick. He's had 3 painful yards here tonight, but they've all resulted in touchdowns. Davis, Red Black surge in front once more. They'll go for 1 here, it looks like. Make it 36-31.
Hat trick! Hey. I did. I dunked it though.
Trevor Harris.
Let's go, man.
That drive aided by roughing the kicker, and Lewis Ward misses it. Score remains 35-31. He's human. Dominic Davis, 3 tonight. Yes, the hat trick. And he said, I can dunk too, you know. Kinda. Shaw Road to the Grey Cup coming up right after this one. Eskimos and Lions. High stakes in the West. 4 teams fighting it out for 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5, you're out. 4 crosses over. And we'll play one of these 2 teams. Early November.
Well, you can't help but wonder as Hamilton's offense prepares to take the field here about the Brandon Banks injury.
Live football.
Looks like Ottawa got it.
Ottawa's got it.
Last to touch it.
They did. After all of that, live ball knocked out of bounds. Red Black football when we come back. Well, Mo has flipped sides in this second half. Momentum, and the Ottawa Red Blacks may have another dose of it here as Command is looking at this.
Here we go.
It's a turnover, and It is Ottawa football.
And Nigel Romick, terrific special teamer for the Ottawa REDBLACKS, was the man who batted that out of bounds.
A 4-point lead. Harris looked one way, delayed draw the other. William Powell, so it sets up a second down. They don't get the first down. This would make it a long kick for Lewis Ward. Lewis Ward hasn't had too many blemishes.
Here we go, right, tough.
A couple of convert misses and the one field goal in game one, but that last convert didn't look good.
No.
Snap.
Low
Snap.
kick
Here we go,
into the wind.
No. Here we go, bump. Here we go, indigo.
Wind
Burst.
is the X factor tonight. Under 6 to play. Second down and 9.
Hurry, son.
Harris stands in, goes down. And this would make it about a 45-yarder, but it's going to feel like 55, and you wonder, are the Ottawa REDBLACKS going to trot Lewis Ward out or bring out Richie Leone and battle for field possession, try to pin the Hamilton Tiger Cats? This wind is fierce.
Looks like
Ward's staying on the sideline.
Field position.
They're going for field position here. That.
Now watch to see with this wind as well if Ottawa lines anybody up onside behind the punter Leone, which would allow such a player to not have to give yards, able to get down and recover the football.
Costly sack. Kept points off the board. Leone has had 9 inside the 10-yard line this season. It's just outside the 10 near the 13-yard line. So Lewis Ward isn't out for that, but he is part of our Shaw connection of the game.
So Lewis Ward kicking his way into the record books this week, into the pro football record books with his 44th and 45th consecutive field goals.
Shaw connection of the game brought to you by Shaw Superfan, proud sponsor of the CFL. We still might see Lewis Ward tonight, though. A tight ball game. Hamilton gets it back, long field, but they have the win. And quickly, with a strike, Buren has it from Masoli. This is really where we've seen Jeremiah Masoli develop, not only over the last couple of seasons, but this season. This is a time and place where the Hamilton Tiger Cats could not win early in the year.
Swap, trade right, 91, ex-Indy, F&H level, son, ready?
As Jeremiah Masoli, you see, with over 300 yards yet again, now at 309. But you're absolutely right, Rod, leading this team on game-winning drives, but also, you know, in times when they've had the lead, the ability to keep things going, to close games out.
12 games over 300, incomplete now on the season for Jeremiah Masoli. Votes will soon go out for most outstanding player. All the awards, you're likely going to see Lewis Ward nominated as an outstanding special teams player, rookie perhaps of the year. Masoli have to be considered a candidate in the East. Brad Sinopoli, Ottawa REDBLACKS. Top 2 teams in the East in a dogfight here tonight and next week. Masoli chucking, incomplete on second down. They'll have to boot it. Clock's ticking down to the 3-minute warning. Might come back in the hands of Masoli again.
The wind has not been kind to the Hamilton Tiger Cats here in the second half. Ottawa managed to take their first lead of the ball game once they got that wind in the third quarter. But Hamilton with a 2-and-out. Ottawa taking care of business in terms of time of possession in the second half of this ball game.
Deontay Spencer is swarmed. Well, we've been talking about Lewis Ward and that impressive streak. He has 45 consecutive field goals made, and also hit a cameraman earlier this season. That's our great cameraman in the end zone. There's Jim Young. See the camera? Oh, Jim got it right in the beak.
Yeah, well, Jimmy keeping his eye on the ball.
And he was leaking too, and he's a gamer though. He's a Hall of Famer. Well, later Jim got a picture with Lewis Ward, who was apologetic. Giraffe, who we love, who's always down there and gets so many great shots. He got hit by a beach ball earlier tonight. So
that didn't hurt as much. No. That did not cut him.
There he is. And
the hardest working man in sports television, by the way.
He does not miss a beat, did not miss anything in that game. And by the way, Lewis Ward's mom that game came up to Jim and apologized for her son hitting him in the face. Jim, you're a gamer, man.
Yeah, Jim getting bullied by a kicker.
Toughest guy on our crew.
Tuesday!
Besides Shinetti. Oh, nice catch sitting down. Greg Ellingson. There was that flag on that return that brought the ball all the way back to the 10-yard line. Greg Ellingson now over 1,000 yards on the season. 3 minutes on the clock.
Prior to the clock going to 3 minutes, timeout was called by Hamilton. Timer, please reset the clock to read 3 minutes and 2 seconds.
So you have that opportunity to take that timeout just before a 3-minute warning. Greg Ellingson joins Brad Sinopoli and Tony Gabriel, the great one. 4 1,000-yard receiving seasons consecutively.
Yes, sir, here in Ottawa. What a rebirth of football.
It's been phenomenal. Tony Gabriel, one of the greatest catches CFL history.
Get up and get the frick set.
70s.
Get frickin' set. Here we go. Still turbo left. 91 Mustang X smoke on one ready. Let's go. Monday.
Second down and 1. And now this should be the 3-minute warning. And this game's still up for grabs, as is first in the CFL East. This week, next week, and one more game each for the Cats and REDBLACKS, who could also meet on November 18th. To be determined. We love October in the CFL, and tonight this October game feels like a November game. So much on the line on Friday Night Football. Well, coming up tomorrow, week 19 continues. Alouettes and the Argonauts, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific time. Two teams at the bottom of the East, who will, by the way, meet these two teams for the final week of the season. And then it's the Rough Riders and Stampeders, and so much again at stake in that game in the West. Tomorrow, Eskimos, Lions coming up after this one.
Let's go.
Second down conversions in the second half have turned absolutely around.
Ottawa 6 for 8. Hamilton just 2 for 7.
Hurry, son.
That's a flat line. Sinopoli sets up a second down here that the REDBLACKS will try to convert. Another catch for Brad Sinopoli.
Yeah.
And Brad Sinopoli, it's one of those great draft quirks. You know, you look at a 2011 draft in which 4 receivers were picked in the first round. Brad Sinopoli goes in the 4th round, and obviously by far the most successful receiver to come out of that draft class. Drafted as a quarterback.
Still turbo left.
Again, cast away by the Calgary Stampeders because of some guy named
Tuesday!
Bill Levi Mitchell.
Yes.
And it started another career for the guy.
Worked out for everybody, I'd say.
Yes, it does. 2:12 to go. 35-31. Looks like they're going to be
offside. Hamilton number 44. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
Key first down because this bleeds the clock as well.
First down.
Rick Campbell just wants to see his team hang on here and keep Jeremiah Masoli off the field. Might not get a chance to get the ball back.
Right tight. Yo-yo, go right tight. Zombie stone.
Minutes to
We've
go.
got lots to the field. Z-slide on one ready.
And Ottawa's been great in the second half of this football game, but there have been a few examples where Hamilton has they've shot themselves in the foot.
Hurry, son.
Likely keep it conservative here. Well, they do wing it out, and Greg Ellingson makes Richard Leonard miss. Dives over top. And a play that looked destined for a loss is positive yardage, setting up another crucial second down, which could seal it.
Hamilton.
Delvin Breaux is manned up on Greg Ellingson on this play, but with the late motion from Ellingson to go across the formation, Breaux's got to chase him, and you see how he has to bubble and avoid all sorts of other people. Brad Sinopoli getting in his way at the last minute. Just a great strategy to get Ellingson wide open versus man coverage.
If they can get the first down here, they might be able.
Queen's left hip, X on. We've got Bull Stone, W Brick, Z Post, X key on one ready.
March to the victory. Huge play here. Powell in the eye. Harris in the gun. William Powell. First down. 1:42 to go.
A tremendous cut here from William Powell to find the seam.
Here we go, listen up. Listen up.
One more first down does it.
Left, Tango, or check, Fib, Jack's right, Tango. We've got Bear, Bone, Z Boom on one ready.
And they do not want to make a mistake here. Got to think this is going to Powell. And we have a whistle. Will Masoli get the ball back?
One of the officials blew the play dead. We're going to reset the clock.
You have to report before you get the huddle. Okay, report again.
The Cats know that.
Timer, please reset the clock to read 1 minute and 42 seconds. We're going to replay the down.
1:42. I don't know if that.
42?
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying in Toronto.
Hey, he
Andre
reported.
Prue got that
Here,
from TO with
listen to
command.
me. Here we got a Fib.
142 is
We're gonna
a
go
lot more
Fib, Jack's right,
palatable
Tango. We're Bear
to the
Bone,
Cats.
Z Boom on one ready.
Did that come from Toronto or from Hamilton?
Right side.
Cats need stops. 2 here.
Tuesday!
And there won't be much time to operate. One more first though. And look at this burst. Oh, William Powell down near the 25, still on his feet. What a run by Powell. That may have just clinched it. 41 yards.
A game in which he has been held largely in check. He's come up big when needed on this drive. Looking to pound the ball, run out the clock. And William Powell goes full Superman here. Prior to that, 19 carries, 39 yards. Before that, massive pickup.
What a huge play.
Hey, protect the ball, 2 hands, bro. Protect this ball.
REDBLACKS.
Hey, listen to me. Hey.
Flexing their muscle here in the second half tonight. This was a team down 16, looked flat. Cats had all the momentum in the first half.
Yeah, complete turnaround that came just before the break. And the REDBLACKS have carried the momentum ever since.
And they've got their fans into it. 1:13 to go. You heard Trevor Harris. 2 hands on the ball, just protect
I'm
it.
not breaking the huddle yet. Hey, here, 2 hands on the ball. We got Fib, Jack's right, Tango. We've got Bear Bone, Z Boom on one ready.
You've got a ball hawking defense. Big hitting defense that will look to strip the ball too.
Now that call sounded very familiar.
Tuesday!
We just heard the same call a minute ago.
Powell. Owen, it is a fumble football. You've got to be kidding.
And you heard Trevor Harris emphasizing, protect this football, protect the ball.
William Powell had it in one hand. And now, 45 seconds to go. Jeremiah Masoli does have a chance.
Well, 45 seconds in a very long way. We'll see right here.
One hand.
An accidental strip, really. Nikita Whitlock is spinning off his block and basically bumps into Powell's left arm.
The unthinkable. And now the Hamilton Tiger Cats have to go 106 yards.
Wind at their backs, but no Brandon Banks.
45 seconds to go. Welcoming viewers from TSN3. What a game we got here. Hamilton had a 22-6 lead in the first half. Lost the lead here in the second. It's been back and forth. First place in the East up for grabs. Ottawa just fumbled. And it comes to Jeremiah Masoli and his offense. And they have to make quick work. Buren didn't get out of bounds. Clock stops at 41. They got to get to this line of scrimmage, and they got to go.
On the phone.
About 8 seconds of play. Long field. They're going to need a big play here.
91.
And again, no Brandon Banks. He's knocked out of this game with an apparent shoulder injury. Three-man rush. Masoli, diving snag. And Marquay McDaniel's first catch since last year on this field at the Grey Cup game with the Calgary Stampeders. His first catch back with the Cats. 32 to go. Time ticking down. Hope running out. Masoli's got to chuck one here. Oh, another big grab. And out of bounds goes Tasker. 24 seconds. Well, they're going to have to go vertical soon here with a big chunk. But Masoli got them out of that hole.
Well, stretching and clawing, and a good effort there from Tasker to fight for that sideline.
90.
Well, you're absolutely right. With 24 seconds and 80 yards to go, they need to take advantage of the wind and push one deep.
You got to stretch it. There's the pump. Masoli gives it off to Green. Incomplete. Probably the best thing that could happen there.
Yes. Incomplete pass stops the clock. It's better than a 2-yard gain, or quite frankly, possibly a loss based on where Green would have caught the ball.
Well, you're going to see the Red Blacks probably go back and prevent here. This has got to be, you'd have to think, a Hail Mary of some sort. Hook and ladder of some sort. Penalty could keep the drive going. But it looks like the final play of this game.
391, Max. Big red, stop. Stop, ready? Stop.
Red Blacks will drop 9. Jeremiah Masoli. Now he steps up. There's a penalty flag, likely a hold. This will stretch it back further and make it an even bigger prayer for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Not holding on them, we want it. Holding Hamilton number 66, a 10-yard penalty.
One play. This one to score.
Nervous moments. This game has been everything it was billed as. Noah Thorpe talking about the hook and ladder. Again, without Brandon Banks, serious disadvantage.
Ottawa DBs are 20-25 yards off the ball at the snap.
Masoli goes over the top. There's the lateral. There's a down football. And Kai Bear will end it. Game over. Round 2 in the season series goes to the Hamilton Tiger Cat, goes to the Ottawa Red Blacks. That means it's 2 wins for the Ottawa Red Blacks. The Tiger Cats are in must-win time next week at Tim Hortons Field.
See you next week.
What a game this was. Red Blacks hang on. Pull it out in the second half, 35-31, our Nissan Titan player of the game.
And what is obviously a very good Ottawa Red Blacks receiving corps. One of the unsung heroes was a guy who really stepped up tonight, turning in his best game of the season. R.J. Harris with 6 catches, 131 yards. Terrific effort for the Ottawa rookie, and he is tonight's Nissan Titan player of the game.
For the 8th straight game, the Hamilton Tiger Cats have a double-digit lead, but this time they blow it.
Down 16, the Ottawa REDBLACKS, RJ Harris, Trevor Harris and company hang on by the skin of their teeth tonight, 35-31 on Friday Night Football. REDBLACKS are first in the East again until they meet again next week in the Hammer. Let's send it back to Rod Smith and the guys in the studio for the second half of our doubleheader coming up.
Thank you.